So in this episode, we break out the new tool in the garage. My nice, new, shiny tube bender. But is it the biggest tool in the garage? We shall see. This is possibly the biggest tool in the garage. Let's keep score and let's find out. You lot again. Alright, let's get on with it. As the tube bender's new, I think that gets a point straight away. If you remember way back in episode 4 and 5, we spent ages measuring and cutting the rear quarters. Well, today we chop them out. There's no way I can get to the suspension turrets to weld the tube strengthening in, so I get upvoted one for the biggest tool award because of a lack of foresight. Obviously they will go back in, but for now they need to come out. So I plan to weld some roll cage tube from the rear turrets to the B pillar. So I'm going to add some strengthening to these points, similar to what you'd see on how a roll cage is mounted, but they don't need to be quite so substantial. So same procedure as usual, template, cut it out to metal, fashion it to shape. This is the first use of my press. I knew you'd need it for something, but I didn't quite know what. But this is it. So, not quite the right profile first time round, so we mark it where it needs a bit of extra work and have another go. So my welding is slowly coming on. Quite pleased with that one. If you didn't realise what the cutouts were for in the template, you do now. The slits in the template should just be big enough so I can get some weld down there and penetration into the rear towers. Whether it needed so much, I don't know, but more is better as far as I'm concerned. Being a newbie, you tell me if it's otherwise. I thought my welding was relatively neat, so it doesn't really need tidying up to tidy up, but it needs tidying up to be able to weld the tube on top. Same procedure on the B pillar. It's a much smaller area to deal with, just needs a little plate on there. So now to cut the tube to length and bend it, but how come we're using a bit that's already bent for reference? Some numpty cut it too short, didn't they? Yeah, well, don't get too excited, you're not actually going to get to see this bent. Some idiot forgot to press record. Obviously we like things to be as level as possible, so check the frames level before we try and measure anything else. So there you go, spot on level, all good. Oh, slipped the first time. Oh, slipped the second time. Oh, again. Shall we weld it anyway? Tempted? Tempted? No. Oh, you thought I'd have worked something out to hold it, wouldn't you? So that's the upper strengthening done. Now we're going to put one all the way down the inner sill, and we will be tying both of them together with an upright. So we do need another bend again. This time I remembered to film it. And I'll also let you into another secret. The one that I didn't film, you see me spraying WD-40 on it to lubricate it. Old blind ass bastard here decided to spray it with primer because I couldn't see what the fuck I was doing. So yeah, another upvote for the tool. There you go, a bend, perfect bend. So must be a good tube bender if this fuckwit can manage it. So first things first, bit of a tidy up, and we've got to finish welding the inner sills. Now there's already 6 plug welds in it, which are stronger than the welds that held the B-pillar on in the first place from factory, but still I'm going to seam weld it fully, make it nice and strong. So onto the lower sill strengthening, and again I want to make sure it's nice and level. The eagle-eyed among you will probably notice that it did move, but I'm actually just getting it roughly level here, and when I weld the B-pillar to it, that's when I actually level it up properly. Next, I'm going to look at the upright, to join in these 2 tubes together. And to do that, I need to notch a tube, which I've never done before. So I found an online tool which calculates the profile. You input the tube diameters, the tube wall thickness, and the angle between the 2 tubes that you want, and it spits you out a paper template. So yeah, let's give that a go. So this is a 73 degrees, 38mm diameter tube template. Well, seems to look about right, so we better whack it on a piece of tube and cut it out and see. So yeah, chuck the template on the pipe. Draw on the shape. Rough cut it out. And then take it back to as close to the line as we can. And then we check the fitment. Looks pretty good profile. And then check the angle. Should be 73 degrees. Yeah, I think that's pretty close. I'll certainly be using the tube, not tube templates again, that's for sure. Obviously it's important to get the orientation of both cuts at the end of the pipe correct, otherwise yeah, it's not going to fit. So we're marking on where the high and the low points of the profile is. Taking that through to the other end of the tube. And then when we put the template on, there's a line which shows the center of the cut. We'll line those up. Once we've lined those up, slide the template up, set the length, and basically align with that mark that we set on the pipe before. Mark it off. Cut. And finish. And then see how it fits. That's pretty damn good actually. I'm well impressed with those cuts. Brilliant templates. And then time to weld it in place. Next is tying the sill tube onto the inner sills. Use some speed holes. And then next we cut out some vertical gussets to fully tie in the inner sills and the tube. Should be pretty strong with these in. This is another one of my favourite tools, punch for plug welds. Great little tool. Anybody think I'd had enough for the day at this point, eh? And now back onto reinstating the rear quarter panels. A little bit of modification needed on the tube. So then we make sure it's nice and straight and level before we weld it all back together. You can never use too many clamps. We'll make sure it's nice and straight and in place. So there you go, job done. Upper tube with a panel fitted back round it, plates on the B pillars and the tunnel, the vertical bar that connects down to that one, down to the sill bar, and there's 4 upright gussets in there, so that is absolutely solid. The only thing that I've not done is I've got to put a plate around the bottom of the B pillar around this section, so yet to do that. Very happy with that. Looks pretty good and it's absolutely solid. You want to see the other side? You want to see all that again? Think not. There you go. There's the other side. All done in the same manner. This one has actually got a plate underneath the B pillar, actually. That one's in, but I'm still going to put another plate around the top of the B pillar. So yeah, job done. And there you go from the inside. So yeah, quick recap on the scores, and apparently I'm the biggest tool in the garage. Nice. So I think that's enough for this episode. So I'll wrap it up here. Cheers.